ledger, turn force a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Hit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Cast to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, steal and pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, steal and pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Engine scream, asphalt burns, the grip's a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn force a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Hit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Cast to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, steal and pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.
Woo! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening as drivers looking for the pole here in the qualifying session. Is Jesse Calloway just getting done his qualifying effort up and into 7th as Philip Tuscano up and into 5th here, but on his second lap, can he find a little extra speed, maybe start a little closer to the front of the pack, is down and across the line. Let's take a look here, see if he found that extra little bit of speed. He did go a little quicker, unfortunately does not move him any further forward. As of right now, it is Clinton Woodby with the quick time here in qualifying. Colton Hardy, Joey Yates, Rusty Modesty, and Philip Tuscano rounding out our top 5, but we still got a few drivers left to qualify. As here comes Mr. Connell. Connell's going to jump out onto the racetrack as Anna Alessandro in the chat says, "What up, my people? What up, Anna? How are you? Hopefully you're ready for tonight's racing action." She says, "I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Let's go, Anna." That is absolutely awesome. We love to see you in the chat chat and showing the love. Here this evening as Diane Calloway says, "Go Calloway!" Cheered on Mr. Jesse here this evening as we do see Jackson Connell, Roberto Ramirez now out there in that Mobile 1 number 43, and David Traylor Jr. in that QH Designs number 54 ride, all looking to try to work themselves into potentially the pole position here this evening. First lap, Jackson Connell jumps up and into the 6th position. So right now, Connell sits in 6th, now going to fall back to 7th as Roberto Ramirez slides into 3rd. Good lap time right there on the opening lap here for that number 43 machine as he'll look to get a little quicker here on lap number 2. Jackson Connell down across the line. Quick time for the 39 ride. Jackson Connell goes to the point. Quickest here in qualifying as Roberto Ramirez, he'll steal it away from him. Quick time goes to the 43. So Roberto Ramirez is not so quick here to his teammate, and now we see a new quick time. The last 3 drivers to qualify, our top 3 here in qualifying, as David Traylor Jr. takes that pole position away from Ramirez after Ramirez had just taken it away from Jackson Connell. So they kind of swap spots right there, but it is David Traylor Jr. qualified here in the top position this evening. So it looks like David Traylor Jr., Roberto Ramirez will be our front row to start here this evening. Jackson Connell and Clinton Woodby will round out row number 2 with Colton Hardy, Joe Yakes, Rusty Modesty, Philip Tuscano, Skylar Berry and Jesse Calloway are top 10. Evan Schilling, Tristan Kyle, and Michael Yakes will round out the top 13 as it's a baker's dozen here this evening. It is quality over quantity here this evening with the Full Throttle Outlaws as the Johnny Johnson Motorsports 150 from Richmond Raceway will get ready to get back underway here this evening, man, for what's going to be another very exciting race, another amazing battle here. Drivers, they got a good amount of laps here. The laps click off at a quick hurry here at Richmond Raceway, so things can move along pretty fast. Things can get kind of, rolling here pretty good with only 13 drivers out there on the racetrack. Should open up this race quite a bit. We could see these laps getting clicked off at a rapid pace here this evening. We will have at least one caution flag here to start this race, as lap number 35 at the completion of it will be the end of stage number 1. So that will end our stages. That will be potentially our only caution flag of the day, biting some incidences out there on the speedway. Now those incidences are definitely bound to happen, especially off these restarts, and we can see it kind of steamrolling, and we can see, cautions breeding cautions throughout the day. So we'll have to wait and see how drivers kind of get rolling here, how quickly they kind of migrate together, maybe down to that bottom lane, maybe the middle. We'll have to wait and see where the fast line is. It's usually down around that bottom groove here, kind of right to that yellow line, but it's really a tricky track, because right here out of corner number 2, this is normally where we see a lot of these issues, is drivers getting back under the throttle maybe a little bit too quick. It seems like it's slick down there. You get onto the throttle a little too fast, you can kick those rear tires out, you can go for a loop-de-loop, and you can go around in a quick hurry and bring a caution flag out. So that's going to be one thing we'll have to look for here this evening. But for David Traylor Jr. starting in that pole position in the QH Designs Johnny Johnson Motorsports number 54 ride. He'll start in that pole position with the Mobile 1 number 43. It is Roberto Ramirez starting there in second. His teammate Jackson Connell in that Bold Rock Brewing Company number 39 ride. We'll start there in that 3rd position. Clinton Woodby in the QH Designs number 92 ride. We'll start in position number 4 with the winning bid QH Designs number 97 of Colton Hardy rounding out our top 5. So our top 5 here this evening starting out filled with a couple different teams here at the Speedway. So it is the 2 different teams here. We got the I do believe it is the Loose Lugnuts, and the Ignite Motorsports team hooked up here inside the top 5. As here we go, getting ready to set them loose as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation quickly. It is our race leader, David Traylor Jr., down low looking to try to pull away here, looking to try to jump in front of that 43, gets the run he was looking for there out at corner number 2, clears that 43, Ryan. You can see that bottom lane already starting to be a little bit dominant here, but the big question will be fuel in tires here throughout this race, especially if we see a lot of green flag racing. It could really make this into potentially a 2 or 3 stop race. So for a lot of these drivers, you want to kind of mind your time. You kind of want to, relax a little bit, get settled in, even if you got to lose a couple spots early on. Trying to save a little tire for later in the run may be that winning strategy. So some drivers may fall backwards. They may go backwards trying to save a little tire here for later in this run. But you do see David Traylor Jr. trying to hold on to the race lead. It's Jackson Connell down low looking to take it away from him. So the Bold Rock number 39 down to the inside, the hard side or Bold Rock ride, looking for the race lead, but David Traylor Jr. in the outside lane will keep him back there at bay. They stay door to door though. Back down in through corner 1 and out of 2. Both drivers sticking right there together. Good run though out of 2 for the 54. Edges him out just in front ever so slightly. But man, this is what we talked about. This could be something that chews up these tires, but these drivers, they've been practicing, they've been getting laps in. They know that, maybe this first 35 laps, you can kind of go all the way. You can kind of run this stage with just putting your foot to the throttle, not worrying really about tires or anything else, knowing that you'll be down pit side at the completion of lap 35 to throw on another set and to get some fuel here in your race car. So I think for a lot of these drivers, maybe not saving as much as they normally would, and maybe just a little bit more on the throttle. As Roberto Ramirez sits there in third, we do see Colton Hardy up into position number 4, continues to look for more as Clinton Woodby slides back to 5th. The number 20 of Philip Tuscano in that Irwin Tools Toyota finds himself now up 2 positions, sitting there in 6th, and a driver who started deep in the field back in the 12th position. That number 23 machine storming his way up through the field here, looking really, really good early on here today in that Sheets ride. The 23 of Tristan Kyle up 5 positions from 12th to 7th here early in this race for that 23 machine. As Rusty Modesty there in 8th. Joey Yanks unfortunately falling back 3 positions, now sits in the 9th spot here on the speedway. Skylar Berry, Jesse Galloway, Evan Schilling, and Michael Yanks bringing up the rear of the field as Yanks gonna bounce it off that outside fence. Pretty solid right front damage there for the 93 machine. That may be a consistent entry for him for the rest of this stage if that car continues to have that right front damage here this evening, and make it a green flag pit stop, especially in this first stage, is a no bueno. You go at least a lap, potentially even 2 or 3 laps down, making a pit stop here under the green flag conditions, while everyone else is just going to be racing to that stage break at the completion of lap 35 here this evening as David Traylor Jr. continues to lead the way. Jackson Connell sticking right there with him as Roberto Ramirez back in third, but there is a bit of a gap starting to open up here between our race leaders, our top 2 and our 3rd place driver and beyond, as right now it is about a 1.8 second gap between Roberto Ramirez and Jackson Connell out there on the racetrack. So it's getting closer and closer to a 2-second gap here for that first and second driver to kind of run away from the rest of the field. Here is now you do see Clinton Woodby. He's worked his way back around the 97 at Colton Hardy. Hardy unfortunately slides back into 7th, but for Clinton Woodby, he's now up and into 4th. He's looking to go after this 43 ride, hoping to try to put himself up inside the top 3 as Philip Tuscano there in that 5th position. And Tristan Kyle able to pick up another spot as well as they were able to work themselves around that winning bid at 97 at Colton Hardy. Rusty Modesty trying to poke his nose into the battle. Here comes Joe Yanks as well in the Expedition number 87 ride in that 9th position. Jesse Calloway continuing to round out our top 10 as Skylar Berry and Evan Schilling back here behind him battling here for position number 11. Schilling will take it away from that Sonic Graphic Designs Ghost Energy number 46 of Skylar Berry. Michael Yanks, though, back in that 13th position. He's got that right front damage. He's just got to try to hold on, but the race leaders are reeling him in here. Less than half a track separating them from the back bumper of that 93 machine of Michael Yanks. So if you're Yanks, you got to be a little bit cautious. You got to be a little bit worried that you may lose a lap here in this first stage. Now you just got to hope you can keep yourself in that lucky dog position. Keep yourself in the lucky dog. Earn that free trip back on the lead lap at the stage break and keep yourself in this battle. Get that right front repaired and get back out there and try to work yourself forward here. Maybe try to gain a few extra positions and try to salvage something out of the day before it goes completely off the rails. As David Traylor Jr. continues to lead here, he's been out in front for the first 15 laps of this race. Unfortunately, that is only 10% of this race. So 10% down here, and if you're the 54 ride, you want to lead that 10%, maybe a lot more, maybe all of it more here this evening. But with that very fast number 39 ride lurking right there on your back bumper for the 54 ride of David Traylor Jr., though, he's just looking to be that reflection of perfection so far here this evening. He's been able to hold off any hard chargers there back behind him, and for the 54 ride, it could come down late in this race if that 39 ride is right within striking distance like he is right now. May not give too much leeway here, especially this being our final regular season race of the season, to try to earn any of those bonus points, to try to put some extra points in your back pocket heading into stage number 1 of our playoffs. Definitely, going to be on the back of the mind of that 39 ride. Same with the 54 and David Traylor. Neither driver's going to want to give up a lot. Neither driver's going to want to back down. They're going to want to sit right there and try to duke it out here for this race lead, trying to earn themselves the stage win here this evening. I do believe, looking at the standings right now coming into this race, Tristan Kyle had the top spot here in the point standings by a good margin here, a pretty sizable difference here between Tristan Kyle and Jackson Connell here this evening. David Traylor Jr. even farther back, basically came in 33 points back behind Kyle here this evening, as Philip Tuscano in 4th, and I do believe it is Joe Yanks rounding out our top 5 here in the point standings. Clinton Woodby, Roberto Ramirez, Colton Hardy, Jesse Calloway, Keith Prince, Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty rounding out, I do believe, our top 10 right there. So these guys have been putting on a heck of a show for us, man. Some pretty good racing action, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out here this evening, as a lot of these drivers, some of them have missed a day, some of them have missed a couple days here at the Speedway. So it's going to be fun to see kind of where all of the races kind of combine, where all of it kind of gets played together, and especially when we look at those bonus points right now, Tristan Kyle has the most bonus points with 40 bonus points going into the first round of the playoffs. Jackson Connell has 35. David Traylor Jr. back there with 24. So even though he's got 24 bonus points in this 54 ride, being already 16 points back of the points leader, 11 points back of second place in the points just to start the playoffs, is never a really fun place to be. And then it also comes down to the team points system as well. The team points as well here are going to play a big factor. As of right now, it is Ignite Motorsports here. That is the number 39 ride, the 43, the 23, and the 20 ride are all a part of the Ignite Motorsports group. And for right now, they do have the points lead in the team aspect of the points as well. So they got the team points and they've got the other points as well right now, kind of locked in for Tristan Kyle and Jackson Connell. So they're feeling really, really good. They got to be feeling very strong about their chances to try to win this season's championship, knowing that they've got some pretty good bonus points, they got some pretty good leads, and they're going to be looking to use them to their advantage here, as this is going to continue to be a good battle. But right now, out in front, that 54 ride of David Traylor Jr. starting to pull away here from Jackson Connell. They have actually started to lose a little bit of time here to our third place driver when you look back at that 43 of Roberto Ramirez. Ramirez has been able to reel in that 39 of Jackson Connell ever so slightly. So is in would-be Tristan Kyle, Philip Tuscano, and Modesty. We're all kind of right there together. But out in front, it's David Traylor Jr. who continues to lead the way. 26 laps completed lead in, and I do believe that is going to be only 9 more laps left to go here in stage number 1 here today. So he's opened up that lead even more, though. It's almost a second gap between himself and Jackson Connell. And down across the line, 8 laps left here in this stage. Going to make things very, very fun for everybody. Kind of just sizing up what they have, where they need to make some changes, whether or not it be their driving style or their lines out there on the racetrack, or potentially trying to, do something different. Do something different there in those pit stops during the stage break to try to give themselves a little bit of an extra advantage. So right now, for that 54 ride, though, he knows that, hey, bonus points are on the line. He wants to jump up. He wants to win this race and try to put himself into a position that he can use them to his advantage and hope that he can kind of keep all those drivers back there at bay here in this one, as each and every one of these drivers, man, doing a fantastic job here this evening, as I do believe, where are we at here on the point standing? So we're at Richmond Raceway here tonight. I do believe our next race is going to be 12-5. So I do believe we're off next Friday for Thanksgiving. So next Friday we are off for Thanksgiving, and then we head right into the round of 15. So 15 drivers will transfer through into our championship battle here this season. So 15 drivers will duke it out for 3 races, where we head to Kentucky, Talladega, and Martinsville for that round of 15. 5 drivers will be eliminated. 10 drivers will move on to the second stage of our championship battle, where they'll head to Darlington, Watkins Glen, and Charlotte, in which case, again, another 5 drivers eliminated. 5 drivers will go back in 2026, man, jumping into the New Year's for a bunch of these races. It'll be January 28th, our championship race at Homestead Miami Speedway, which is going to be absolutely insane. Going to be a great race, man. I love Homestead, especially when it comes to some of the strategy. You throw on the pressure here with the Championship 5 duking it out, man. That is going to be a hell of a race. And for all these drivers, they want to try to earn those bonus points. They want to try to put themselves into a position that they can try to be there for that championship battle. They want to be a part of that Championship 5. And right now, for the 54 rider, David Traylor Jr., if he can win the stage, put a little bit of extra bonus points into his back pocket, may help him out a little bit more heading into that first round, and then throughout the second round as well, having those extra bonus points here for him to use. As for the 54 of David Traylor Jr., down and out of corner number 4, he will see only 1 lap left to go here in this stage. So 34 laps are completed. We have only 1 lap left to go before stage number 1 comes to a close here today. It's nice and easy down the back straightaway into 3. He's got a 1.7 second gap between himself and Jackson Connell. Is on cruise control. David Traylor Jr. will pick up the win here in stage number 1 this evening. So David Traylor Jr., Jackson Connell, Roberto Ramirez, Clinton Woodby, and Tristan Kyle are top 5 there in that first stage. That is, I do believe, 3 of the 4 Ignite Motorsports rides inside the top 5. All 4 of the Ignite Motorsports teammates inside the top 6 here in this stage, as Philip Tuscano right there in that 6th position. Rusty Modesty, Joe Yanks, Colton Hardy, and Jesse Calloway going to round out our top 10 there in stage number 1. Evan Schilling, Skylar Berry back in 11th and 12th, and for Michael Yanks, unfortunately had to make a pit stop here, and I do believe he has went a lap down. So unfortunately for that 93 machine, after the contact into the outside fence, getting some damage here, being a lap down, it's a tough spot, but honestly, he's still in line for that lucky dunk. He can get the wave around, get back on the lead lap, put himself right into the battle again here this evening. So for the Miller Genuine Draft Ride, should get the wave, should get a trip down pit road by himself. He'll get lined up at the rear of the field, but he'll look to try to rebound and try to race his way up towards the front as everybody else does make their way down pit road. Who is going to win this race on pit road? Will anyone take any major gambles, or will everyone kind of just go with the flow here, put 4 tires on, and get set loose as here comes the 39, the 54. It's a tight race off of pit road. Looks like Jackson Connell may have won that battle. Looks like Connell may have ended up jumping just in front of David Traylor Jr. And it should be Jackson Connell with control of this first restart of the evening. David Traylor will come out in second with Roberto Ramirez. Clinton Woodby, Tristan Kyle are top five with Tuscano, Modesty, Joe Yanks, Colton Hardy, Jesse Calloway, Evan Schilling, Skylar Berry, and Michael Yanks going to round out our top 13 here today. So we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Here in this one is Jackson Connell. Now has this race lead. Will look to try to keep these drivers back there at bay here today as we'll get them all ready to rumble here as the Johnny Johnson Motorsports 150 here this evening from Richmond Raceway. First stage putting on a show for us, man, and it's going to be a lot of fun for the final. I guess when we go back to Green Flag Racing, will probably be about 110 laps of racing action. Alrighty, so we'll get them stacked up door to door and get ready for our first restart of the day. This is where things can get very, very scary in a quick hurry as new tires, they're a little bit colder. They don't have the heat built up in them, and obviously that could cause a bit of tire spin here for some of these drivers. So, watching them down, in through the Geico restart zone, getting onto the throttle, we could see a little tire spin there. We could also see some tire spin, especially off the corner exits here, whether it's on corner 2 or 4. You gotta be really cautious of that throttle. As here we go back to Green Flag Racing. That's the 39 of Jackson Connell. Great restart. Great jump. Look out. There's contact. Around goes David Traylor Jr. Oh, no. The 43's tied up in it. The 93 on the 92 right at Clinton Woodby's in there as well, as it looked like Tristan Kyle takes it 3 wide here into corner number 1. He gets a good run. Good restart. Jumps down to the inside here, the flag stand of the 43 and the 54. And as they send it into corner number 1, I'm not sure if the 54 comes down, expecting the 43 to come down. I don't know if he knew he was 3 wide or not, but nonetheless, it's going to be some pretty good contact here, and it's on like Donkey Kong here. So the 54, 43, you see the 54 kind of arcing into the corner, trying to get towards that middle groove, and the 43 ride's kind of already there. They make contact, around goes that 54 ride, but it's the 43 of Roberto Ramirez who ends up getting a lot of damage here after that contact. He's trying to keep himself pointed in the right direction here, trying to keep himself out of the teammate, washes up the racetrack, hard contact up into the outside fence. You're going to see, unfortunately here, a few other drivers going to get tore up here as well. So Rusty Modesty trying to navigate his way through it here. Looked like he was able to avoid the 54 and the 92, just shoots down low as the 43 kind of comes back up the track. It clips the 6 ride. Modesty gets shunted up the speedway and into the outside fence himself. So for the Sinclair Dyno Care ride, not the way he wanted that restart to go. And then obviously we saw Clinton Woodby, just really nowhere for him to go here in this one. But he's going to get a great look at it and good look at maybe some of the contact here as they're going to just follow each other into corner number 3. And both drivers going to try to hit the same line almost, and there's the contact. Around goes the 54, and for his 92 right, Clinton Woodby just has to get onto the binders as quickly as possible, trying to keep himself out of that carnage. So now drivers making their way down pit road, trying to get some repairs done, trying to get fixed up, trying to get themselves back into good working condition and get their cars back out onto the racetrack as Skylar Berry makes a pit stop. We did see David Traylor Jr. back down pit road. Michael Yanks is down pit side, getting extended damage repaired to his number 93 machine. Roberto Ramirez, though, he's back out there. He is ready to rumble. He is ready to go back to war here this evening as he'll have to try to gain that track position and try to work his way up again towards the front of the field. For right now, a lot of these drivers, man, doing a fantastic job here in this one, as there is also a little bit of money on the line as well. So $5 to the hard charger driver. Must qualify within 1 second of pole sitter. I do believe everybody did that, so it'll be interesting to see who could win that hard charger award here this evening. Put a little bit of extra iRacing credits or money into their PayPal here this evening, so we'll have to wait and see who's going to be able to claim that one. As of right now, the hard charger is that 23 right at Tristan Kyle. Started back in 12th, now into second as he'll get the restart here. His teammate to his inside, another one there behind him in third as here we go back to green flag racing here at Richmond Raceway. So for the 39 at Jackson Connell, he's got the race lead, but look out, oh baby, there goes Colton Hardy. Oh no, Colton's going to go around now himself, and this is what we talked about cautions breeding cautions, and unfortunately, you know, even after just that 35-lap run where we went clean and green, getting a little tougher to get things started again here, as see if there was any contact, see if you got any help, or if the rear end just kicks out around him, man. These low tire pressures really kill these cars, and drivers obviously trying to get as much as they can here on these restarts, trying to gain that little bit of track position, maybe get those few extra spots on the restart. Unfortunately, you push your car a little bit too far, and when you go a little too far, it can get a lot crazier in a quick hurry. And right there, you see the 18 ride having to jump up out of the way. Evan Schillings, Rusty Modesty able to slide up and out of the way of the 97 ride after he goes around. Now you watch the rest of the field trying to squeeze through there. Here comes David Traylor Jr. He may have even gotten a little bit of contact into that 97 ride, but doesn't look too bad there for the 54, but it does look like it's enough left front damage that he may have to come back down pit side here, and I do believe we are going to see him down pit road. So for David Traylor Jr., he heads down pit side, so giving up a lot of track position, and obviously a good early run after winning that early stage. 54 ride has to come down pit road and get some repairs done, get that car back out on the racetrack, and able to keep on battling with us here today. As he'll look to hunt down our race leaders once again, he'll have to gain a ton of track position out there on the speedway, but for the number 39 ride, that Bold Rock hard cider, number 39 of Jackson Connell continues to lead this race. Jackson Connell out in front, has the top spot with his teammates Tristan Kyle and Philip Tuscano right there behind him. Joe Yates, Jesse Calloway now our top 5 as Evan Schilling, Rusty Modesty, Clinton Woodby, Roberto Ramirez, the 46 of Skylar Berry, the 54 ride of David Traylor Jr. and Michael Yakes, rounding out our 12-car field as of right now. Now for Yakes, I do believe he is back on the lead lap, so that's a great break there for that 93 ride. Back on the lead lap, back into the battle. Colton Hardy able to keep himself kind of in the fight here. I do believe he is currently being scored as a lap down, but I do believe he is still in the lead lap here, still in the battle, still in the hunt. We'll look for a towel and try to get sweaty here in the second half. But for the 97 ride, he's got to try to really go to work here. He lost all that track position. He's going to try to get it back, and it's a lot easier said than done because this is a tough racetrack. We just saw the last couple restarts. Contact is very easy, and having these cars go around does not take a lot. So that one little bump, that one little bit of a elbow touch out there on the racetrack could potentially send your competitor around in a circle and could get a lot of other drivers collected and pretty mad at you. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out because there's still a lot of laps left to go, but this time by the start finish line as we go back to green flag racing. 50 laps are completed, 50 laps down and 100 laps left to go here to date. So 100 more laps racing action to duke it out, to go to battle, to try and find your way up towards the front of the field or hope for a good solid podium finish, maybe top 5, top 10, really just help make your Friday that much better. But for the 39 ride of Jackson Connell, not only is he looking for the race win, but I do believe he's also going to be looking for earning maybe enough points that he can leapfrog his teammate and steal over that points battle here. So that is going to be a good battle to look at. A couple fast drivers that are going to be right in the thick of things, trying to duke it out with one another for the championship. Tristan Kyle came into this race, I do believe, what is that, 17 points to the good? 17 points? No. Yeah, 17 points between himself and Jackson Connell. So I think for Jackson Connell, he's just going to have a solid run, a good drive here, not put himself into any positions, and if he can gain a couple extra, laps led here maybe, or try to get some extra bonus points into his back pocket, or something happens to Tristan Kyle, could open up the door there for this number 39 ride to steal the win and maybe the regular season's championship. As the regular season comes to a close here at Richmond Raceway, as Tristan Kyle trying to work his way towards the front, and also looking to try to capture the regular season championship is Connell, David Traylor Jr., Philip Tuscano, and Joe Yakes rounding out our top 5. Clinton Woodby, Roberto Ramirez, Colton Hardy, Jesse Calloway, Keith Prince, Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty, Evan Schilling, I do believe is our top 15 here on the season, all having some remarkable races out there, man. A lot of new finishers, a lot of new winners here already here on the season. But for right now, it is Tristan Kyle who continues to lead the way here in this one in the point standings. Out there on the racetrack, though, he does not lead this race. It is his teammate, the Ignite Motorsports 39 of Jackson Connell, who continues to sit out in front, continues to run some good solid laps here in this much better restart here. This is where we can see things really get broken up here. This is where things could get very interesting in a quick hurry, because you got that opportunity and the possibility of green flag pit stops. And for these drivers, having a green flag pit stop means that you got to get on and off of pit road without an issue. You cannot have a mistake. One simple speeding down pit road or an unsafe pit entry, anything that could get you a hold down pit sign, can cost you at least a lap or two in a quick hurry here at Richmond Raceway. So for a lot of these drivers, when it comes to those green flag pit stops, you gotta be on your A game. You do not want to get caught speeding out there on the racetrack. As right now, though, speeding his way to potentially another win on the season, that 39 of Jackson Connell out in front, continue to lead the way with Tristan Kyle right there in second. Philip Tuscano back in third with Rusty Modesty, Joe Yakes, Clinton Woodby, David Traylor Jr., Jesse Calloway, Evan Schilling, and Skylar Berry rounding out our top 10 here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are enjoying the racing action here this evening, make sure you guys do us a favor, man. Hit the like button on the stream for us right now. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today, as we will be back in the booth all over the weekend. So you guys don't want to miss any of the great racing action. So turn on those bell notifications. That way you guys never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But in front, it is Jackson Connell. Connell continues to lead this race. Already 61 laps into it here, and for the 39 ride, not really a major gap or a major distance here starting to brew between himself and that 23 of Tristan Kyle. So I'm not sure if Kyle's just found some great speed out of that 23 ride, or potentially for our race leader, Jackson Connell, may not be as good on the long run. We did see him starting to fall back there in that first stage, as the number 54, David Traylor Jr., continued to pull away from him there and put him into a spot where he had no chance of winning that first stage here this evening. But Jackson Connell, it's not about the stage win. It's not about leading the most laps. It's about leading the right lap, and that is the final lap out there on the racetrack. I'm sure a lot of these drivers, most of these drivers, will give up any laps led for a race win here this evening, especially with this being our championship finale. So for a lot of these cats, they're going to be definitely looking to try to put themselves into a good spot here after tonight, heading into our first round of the playoffs. As Jackson Connell, though, leads the way, Tristan Kyle there in second, as we do see Michael Yakes running into some issues here down into corner number 2. Looks like he had lost that rear end. He's going to rejoin the racing surface here. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green, and now looks like he will head down pit road. Oh, looks like he's going to stay out. I thought he was coming down pit side here. So for the 93 ride, having some struggles, obviously going a lap down again here this evening. I thought maybe with that damage he was going to head down pit road, but elects not to. He's going to stay out and maybe hope for another caution flag, maybe hope for another wave around to try and work himself back on the lead lap once again here this evening. But for right now, it's still this battle out in front, man. Jackson Connell leads the way. Tristan Kyle right there in second. Philip Tuscano, their third of four drivers in the Ignite Motorsports battle here for the team. They sit 1, 2, and 3 right now on the racetrack. The 6th rider, Rusty Modesty, they're in 4th. And now back inside the top 5. It's our Stage 1 winner. The 54 of David Traylor Jr. David has now worked his way back inside the top 5 after getting collected in that second yellow flag of the day and unfortunately getting some pretty solid damage into the 54 ride. But here he is working his way right back into the mix here today. It's Jackson Connell though. Connell trying to pull away, trying to open up a bit of a gap, trying to give himself a little bit of breathing room, but his teammate in that number 23 ride of Tristan Kyle is not going to back down. Kyle knows that this is a great battle. This is going to be a tough pass here to try to work yourself around the race leader here today, especially seeing how quickly these laps are being laid down and how good track position is out there on the racetrack. So for a lot of these drivers, it's now or never, man. If you're saving, if you're biding time, man, I think it's time that you guys get your foot into the throttle, start trying to navigate your way to the front. Even if you've been saving some tire, you gotta use it now if you want to try and put yourself or your team up and into victory lane here today. It's Jackson Connell, Tristan Kyle, nice and easy, down and out of corner number 4. Down and across the line, they'll complete lap number 70 here today. So 70 laps now completed, and for a lot of these drivers, it's a long ways from being over, man. There's still a lot of laps. There's still a lot of time to try and navigate your way to try to put yourself into contention here late in this race, and especially with potential of late race caution flags. We tend to see a couple of them throughout the season here at Richmond Raceway, so more yellow flags could be on the horizon. If we do get a few yellow flags here, what are drivers going to do? Are they going to think, hey, you know what, this is a little bit too quick, it's a little bit too early to throw on an extra set of tires? But I think at this point now, after running about 34 laps, 35 laps on this tank of fuel, I think a lot of drivers are going to be starting to worry not only about that tire but about the fuel situation as well, because they are clicking them off in a quick hurry. But were a few drivers that had come back down pit road around lap number 14. So for the drivers that are still up here inside the top 3, still in this battle, the laps are clicking down. They need to make some moves here in this one, as David Traylor says going back to the front. He says going back to the front for David Traylor Jr. right now. He's trying, man. He is trying. David's right there in that 5th position. He's been edging his way. He's been trying to work his way up here. He's been trying to get back into this battle. I think really that contact when he restarted in second there on that restart, in which case, man, what a trip down pit road for Jackson Connell. It gives him the race lead. He goes on to lead the next, 40 laps of this race. And for David Traylor Jr., he goes from winning the stage, coming out of the pits in second, down into 1. He gets contact, goes around, gets tied up with a few other drivers, ends up with damage up into the fence, and then obviously losing all that track position. But here he is in that 5th spot here. He knows that he's got time. He's got lots of room out there on the racetrack now that things have spread open a little bit more. He can be a little bit more, quick with his passes out there, especially when they're not too wide out there on the racetrack to make things more difficult for you. So for the 54, he's just looking to try to punch back, try to get himself back into the action, and trying to maybe split up a bit of a 1-2-3 run right now for the Ignite Motorsports team, as the Ignite rides currently sit 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And for the life of me, man, this 23 ride He kind of had a bit of a rough go there early on. Did not get a great qualifying position, though. Raced his way up inside the top 5 there at the end of the stage. And for Tristan Kyle, just coming right out of the gates here for this final stage, trying to work his way to the race lead. And for right now, the 39 of Connell's not wanting to give it up, though. He continues to get to his back bumper, continues to take looks down to the inside, but the 39 right almost every time. And Tristan Kyle gets a look. The 39 kind of just runs a little bit better than he does in the next corner, or gets in front of him, kind of blocks him, pinches him down the racetrack. Doesn't allow for him to really find an open lane that is a good lane and make that pass out there on the racetrack. But here we go. We're going to continue to see these two duke it out here as we're just over halfway through this race. Next time by the start-finish line, they will complete lap number 80. So lap number 80 about to come off the board here this evening as down the back straightaway into 3. Here comes a move from the 23. Oh, baby, here we go. That 23 machine of Tristan Kyle looking for the race lead. Down low, gets a great run through corner number 3 and 4 and across the line, leading lap number 80 here this evening. And, man, what a run. What a drive right there. And especially being teammates out there on the racetrack, no one better to have around you than a fellow competitor to be able to battle with it and to kind of keep yourself, you know, maybe a little bit farther away from some of the other drivers there behind you as Ignite Motorsports sits 1, 2, and 3. Rusty Modesty there in position number 4. And Justin Trudeau, I don't know where Justin Trudeau is out there on the racetrack, but he has definitely disappeared. But for the 54 of David Traylor Jr., he's there in that 5th position, continuing to try to find his way up here into the front of the field, man. This is some fun racing, and now here we go. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Green flag pit stops are underway. Here we go. Green flag pit stops. Clinton Woodby heads down pit road. Lap number 82, he makes his pit stop. Man, this is going to be tough. So we're last down pit side here for Clinton Woodby. A lot of these other drivers back on lap number 37. So they made it, 45 laps or so there to a tank of fuel. I think a few other drivers are trying to stretch that fuel out a little bit farther if they can make it maybe closer to lap 60 on a tank of fuel. I don't know how much they got to stretch it. If they can make it somewhere to around lap number 60, then that would really put them into the window of being able to make it here on just one stop throughout this run. If they can make one stop throughout this run, that could really give them a huge benefit here late in this race. For Clinton Woodby coming down this early, I'm not sure if he can go, 68 laps on this tank of fuel? I'm not sure if he's got that, if that car has that enough fuel to make it 68 laps. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to get interesting here as we still see our top 10 yet to come back down pit road, and we did see a few drivers during a couple of those caution flags come back down pit side. When we look at Rusty Modesty, you look at David Traylor Jr., last down pit road on lap 47, so he can make it virtually, 10 laps farther than the drivers in front of him. We look back at the 4 of Jesse Calloway, pitted on lap 42. Roberto Ramirez on lap 42. Colton Hardy was down pit road on lap number 48. So for a lot of these drivers, I think they're really trying to get to that number of probably somewhere around, lap 100-ish, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit beyond that, especially if you are Colton Hardy or David Traylor Jr. If you can make it to that number, then you should be able to make it to the end of this race without having to make a pit stop. But here we go. Colton Hardy's coming down pit road. So Hardy's coming down pit side. So this must be the green light. I think for Colton Hardy, he must feel that this is a green light scenario for him, that they're good on field to this point, and with the lack of caution flags, that he's going to take potentially the few laps with better tires to his advantage here to try to maybe leapfrog some of the other drivers in front of him. And now we do see David Traylor Jr. He's on that same boat. Now here comes Jesse Calloway, Skylar Berry also down pit side. So some more green flag pit stops for these drivers, but for our race leader, Tristan Kyle, he's going to stay out here, but we do see what was our race leader, not our new race leader. Jackson Connell does come down pit road. So Jackson Connell pits here a lap after David Traylor Jr., Barry, Calloway. few laps after Clinton Woodby and Michael Yates, a bunch of these other drivers that have come down pit road, including Colton Hardy. But for right now, Tristan Kyle continues to just stay out here. Continue to lay good laps here. Same with Philip Tuscano, Rossi Modesty, Joe Yates, Roberto Ramirez, all yet to come down pit road here themselves. But for Tristan Kyle, he sits here in the top spot now. He's liking this clean air. He's liking this top position and leading some laps here. Definitely going to help him out, and obviously in a good position here to try to lock in the points championship here tonight. Came in with 17 points between himself and his teammate Jackson Connell, so we'll have to wait and see how much these tires are going to make a huge difference out there on the speedway. It looks to be about a second or so a tire fall off since we went back to green flag racing. So a second of tire fall off, maybe a little bit more than a second of tire fall off, man. That could be a lot. That could be some pretty good leapfrogs here for a lot of these drivers. You do see Philip Tuscano now down pit road, but you do see the 92 ride of Clinton Woodby. Woodby's able to get out in front of David Traylor Jr. David jumps back onto the racetrack here just in front of Jackson Connell. So Connell, who was our race leader, now has two drivers that pitted before he did right there in front of him, including David Traylor Jr., who pitted only one lap before this 39, but has what could be just that little bit better of a position out there on the speedway. Philip Tuscano still down pit road, just getting ready to leave pit side here and down and out of the Richmond Raceway pit road. The number 20 ride will roll down through 1 and 2, and out of the back straightaway we'll rejoin this race and back into the battle as we'll wait and see when a few more of these drivers start to elect to come down pit side. Right now there's only 4 drivers left to pit here. 4 drivers left to come down pit road. And now I wonder, are they just trying to maybe flip the stage a little bit, give themselves better tires here? If they can run this out a little bit longer towards the end of their run, they may be on the attack instead of sliding back. Or are they trying to maybe catch a caution flag? An untimely yellow flag here would really catch a lot of drivers back there in a bad position. So that's what it could be. And I do believe if there were to be a caution flag, I believe everyone from 9th on back would be unfortunately trapped 2 laps down out there on the racetrack or so. So this could get really fun. This could get really interesting. But as Tristan Kyle, all these drivers continue to lay down more and more laps here, looks like they can run. This is going to be lap number 79, completed next time by the start-finish line for Tristan Kyle. And for Tristan Kyle, what is that, 50, 60 lap run right there, 60 lap run. So if they can run 60 laps, then he should be good on fuel here. Staying out again for another lap. He's good on fuel. Should not have to make another pit stop here this evening if you're that 23 machine. But trying to have those good tires, trying to maybe keep a couple sets back there behind pit wall. So any late race caution flags, you can throw an extra set on, use them to your advantage. But for right now, the 23 ride blinking quite a bit out there too. That could make things very difficult for a lot of our front runners if that 23 continues to blink. See if we can get an angle at it. So you see the 23 right here. He's the car just in front of Rusty Modesty here. See him disappear off the racetrack there. Back. Gone. Back gone. Back gone. He's there. He's there. He's there. So he's blinking quite a bit there. Oh, he's gone again. Gone again. Gone again. Oh. Yeah, that's going to make things very tough, especially if drivers start racing around him. If drivers really start to battle anywhere around that number 23, things could get very difficult for these guys in a quick hurry. But for the 43 ride of Roberto Ramirez, he's going to finally come down, make his pit stop here on lap number 99. So he's down pit road. But for Tristan Kyle, he's staying out. He's not coming back down pit side here. Maybe for the rest of the night. Maybe he's just going to stay out. Maybe he's got the cheat code for fuel. Maybe he can make it a little bit longer and still hope to find that caution flag out there on the speedway. As Tristan Kyle, Rusty Modesty, looks like Joe Yanks, all going to stay out there for a little while longer. But out in front, leading the drivers who have already made that additional pit stop, the 92 rider Clinton Woodby, the 54 David Traylor Jr., Jackson Connell, Philip Tuscano, Jesse Calloway, Colton Hardy, and Roberto Ramirez rounding out our top 10. Skylar Berry there in the, I believe, the 11th position with Michael Yates down pit road. He's there in 12th, and it looks like Evan Schilling, after lap number 76, had come down pit road himself and has taken his car down and out of this race. Heartbreaker there for Evan Schilling here this evening, and unfortunately still seeing some pretty good blinkiness out of that number 23 ride. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, see how this gets played out, see how this gets transpired. But we know for Tristan Kyle, Rusty Modesty, Joe Yakes, they do have to make another pit stop here at some point in time today. And right now they're giving up a lot of time to the drivers with those fresh tires. So they're either going to hope that they can kind of keep pace or give themselves a good position for later in this race with the fresher tires to try to navigate their way back up there and try to steal this win away from any of the other fast cats that have already made their way down pit road. But for Tristan Kyle, Rusty Modesty, Joe Yakes, man, they are going a distance here. Now, they're going to have really good tires compared to the other drivers, but man, this is wild, man. It's lap 105 already, and we're yet to see at least 3 of these guys make their way back down pit road. Everyone else came down pit side, lap 82, 88, 89, 92. You know, maybe even a couple back on lap 99 or lap 100. But for Tristan Kyle, Rusty Modesty, and Joe Yakes, they're all yet to come back down pit side here in this one. So this is some pretty crazy strats coming out here right now, and we do see a battle between drivers that had already made that additional pit stop. That is the 54 ride of David Traylor Jr. working the QH Designs winning bid number 54 around the winning bid. QH Designs number 92 ride as the Full Throttle Paints number 92 falls into second out there on the racetrack. But for that number 54 ride of David Traylor Jr., he's sitting in a good spot here that he can consume that race lead. And I think the big question will be for Tristan Kyle, Rusty Modesty, Joe Yakes, are they waiting too long? If they continue to keep on rolling out here and they don't make their way down pit side soon enough, they can lose so much time that they may not be able to get it back. They may not be able to rebound from losing so much track time out there on the speedway, and it's been consistent, about a second a lap that he's been losing here to the other drivers that have already navigated their way down pit road. So here we go. He finally comes down pit side, lap 109. Now this is about 20 laps, 21 laps after, you know, David Traylor Jr., Jackson Connell had come down pit road. So he could have lost a ton of time here. Now he will have a better car, better tires here for the next little bit, but we'll have to wait and see where this kind of cycles him back around, as that caution flag never came out, never really helped or improved his position. So we'll see where he can kind of roll out onto the racetrack once again for that 23 machine. Rusty Modesty, he says, you know what, I'm going to go a little bit farther. I'm going to try to take this to the extreme. He still rolls there in that top spot on the racetrack. Joe Yakes there in position number 2. Then we see David Traylor Jr., Jackson Connell, and Clinton Woodby rounding out our top 5. Philip Tuscano back in 6 with Roberto Ramirez, Jesse Calloway, Colton Hardy, Tristan Kyle there in 10th. And that is the number 46 of Skylar Berry right there behind him. Michael Yakes and Evan Schilling, unfortunately, both multiple laps down out there on the racetrack, but man, they are putting on a great show and great race for us here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you haven't already, make sure you guys jump into the comment section. Let us know what you think of the amazing racing here this evening. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, and hit that gosh heckin' subscribe button here today. As Modesty continues to lead this race, I don't know how much longer he can go, but man, he is going a while. They have 65% fuel in these rides. I think they can only really make it about 120 laps to a fuel run, maybe, with a full tank of fuel. So you minus that 35%. What are we looking at here? We're looking at, what, 65, maybe 70, 80 laps, somewhere in there. So if he can make it about 70 or 80 laps, he was down pit road on lap number 42. He just completed lap 114. feel like he's only really got, anywhere between now and another 8 laps to come down pit road before he may be out of fuel. This is definitely going to make things really interesting to see how this will play out, because this is a long distance, chat. A long distance, no trips down pit road, and waiting too long to come down pit side may hurt you more than it helps you. You see David Traylor, who would be our race leader if the other two came down pit road, and here we go. We're finally going to see Modesty make his way down pit side. So Rusty Modesty comes down pit road. Here comes Joe Yakes as well. They can only make it to about lap 116 here this evening. That should reconsume the race lead here to that number 54 of David Traylor Jr. So David now has the race lead in a black flag speeding down pit road for Joe Yanks. Oh, heartbreaker here for that Expedition Yanks 87 on YouTube, number 87 right here this evening, man. That black flag will be a hold down pit road, and for Joe Yanks, that's going to put him into a tough spot here throughout this race, as he's going to go multiple laps down now out there on the racetrack. There goes our race leader, putting him officially a lap down. But for right now, David Traylor Jr. has this race lead. He's got about 1.5 seconds between himself and Jackson Connell. 3 seconds back behind him is that 92 right of Clinton Woodby. Woodby rolls there in position number 3. Right behind him, you do see Philip Tuscano, the number 43 of Roberto Ramirez, a little farther back. He's about 9 seconds behind our race leader, David Traylor. Tristan Kyle, who we saw come down pit road back on lap 110, he's in that 6th position, so he's not really in a bad spot here, but he is about 10-11 seconds behind David Traylor Jr., and he's really going to have to try to find some good speed out of this number 23 machine to try to close up that gap, try to reel in that 54 of David Traylor Jr. here in a quick hurry, because next time by, down across the line for David Traylor Jr., he will complete lap number 120 here this evening. So 120 laps completed here across the line, meaning we only got 30 more laps left here in this feature event. 30 more laps left to duke it out here in this one. Everybody is good on fuel to get to the end right here. Nobody has to wait. Nobody has to ponder on whether their fuel mileage will be a-okay. It's all now down to the tires, the strategy, and the racecraft out there to see who can try and put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening as David Traylor Jr. continues to lead the way. We're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming and crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here at Richmond Raceway. Alrighty, a beautiful crank it up session here this evening from Richmond Raceway as we get down to the nitty gritty. Only 15 laps left to go for these drivers to duke it out here this evening. Is continuing to lead the way. It is the 54 of David Traylor Jr. David out in front has about a 2.8 second gap between himself and our second place driver Jackson Connell. So for right now, it looks like the 54 ride is in control of this race. He's going to be looking to try to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening, but he's just got to run another 14, about to be 13 more laps to keep these drivers back there at bay and to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening. 13 laps to keep Jackson Connell, Tristan Kyle, Clinton Woodby, and Philip Tuscano back there at bay as Tristan Kyle, the driver with the newest tires here up inside the top 5. He's got that, about 20 lap better tires than our race leader. So he is currently right now, rolling towards the front, rolling up here, trying to put himself into a position to try to win this race, but without a caution flag, I don't think he gets there. It's still about 3.8 seconds, 3.9 seconds between himself and David Traylor Jr., and with only, about 12 laps left to go here in this race, I think he has run out of time here. Biting a late race caution flag, I don't think that Tristan Kyle catches our race leader, David Traylor Jr. I think for Jackson Connell, unfortunately for that 39 ride, looks like he is struggling a little bit. He's been continuing to fall farther and farther back away from David Traylor Jr. Looks like the 39 really good on the short run, but on the long run, David Traylor Jr. is just absolutely hooked up here this evening, and he's looking to try to put himself into victory lane here this evening with only 10 laps left to go. Does this 54 ride get it done? Does he put himself up and into the winner's circle here this evening? Because, man, he has been looking absolutely stout here in this one, man. He's been looking really, really good here this evening. And I do believe David Traylor Jr., no, he did not win last week. I do believe Auto Club went to Christian Schrader, if I'm not wrong about that. Yeah, Christian Schrader won last week, but David Traylor Jr., he's been in victory lane a few times here this year, so to add another one, earn those extra bonus points, put them into his back pocket, could really help him here in these playoffs, trying to advance into, maybe that second round and then into our championship race. So earning those extra bonus points, putting them in his back pocket after winning that first stage and looking to win this race, trying to sweep the day here with the pole as well. The 54 of David Traylor Jr. has just been running a picture-perfect run here this evening, even after that contact during our first restart of the evening. Got spun around, went backwards up into the outside fence. Unfortunately for the 54, lost all of his track position, went from second there on that restart to the back of the pack, and it didn't take him long to navigate his way back up through the field, and now leading this race and looking to run away with it as David Traylor Jr. continues just to pull away here. It is about 3.1 seconds now between himself and Jackson Connell. Connell may have a little competition here as his teammate Tristan Kyle right here behind him. Tristan, obviously with about 21 lap better tires than his teammate, is on the gas. He's on the throttle. He's looking to try to make some moves. The tires, though, have balanced out a little bit. He isn't running as fast as, I think he wanted to be, but for the 39 ride, he may have just enough time and just enough tires and car to try to keep his teammate back there at bay to try to earn that extra point or two here this evening. But for the 23, he still wants to take this spot away from him, just in case there is that late race caution flag that could really help them out to go after David Traylor Jr. For David Traylor Jr. right now, he knows the gap is, 3.3 seconds. He knows that. He just wants to see that white flag here. He's not backing down. He's not slowing down. He's trying to get to this white flag as quickly as possible as he continues to open up that race lead more and more between himself and Connell. And with Connell holding this 23 right up at bay and maybe doing a little bit more driving into the rear view mirror than out the front windshield. Being on defense rather than offense is going to continue to slow these two down and allow our race leader to continue to pull farther and farther away. As David Traylor Jr. with only 3 laps left to go here in this one. He's just hoping that we don't see any cautions, hoping that he can get to that white flag as down through 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4 for the QH Designs. Number 54 of David Traylor Jr. He will see 2 laps left to go. The twin sticks are in the air. 2 laps left here in this feature event as David Traylor Jr. down the back straightaway has a little lap traffic here in front of him. They may move up and out of the way for him here. They're not going to want to, hold him up or make something happen here late in this race. Is down and out of corner number 4. There's the white flag. That's exactly what David Traylor Jr. has been looking for. He's got 3.5 seconds between himself, Jackson Connell in the 23 of Tristan Kyle, as Tristan looks to the inside here, looking to try to take over that second position. Jackson Connell, though, will try to battle to the outside, but down through 3 and out of 4 for the final time here this evening. It is David Traylor Jr. who will pick up the checkered flag here this evening in the Johnny Johnson Motorsports 150. Here from Richmond Raceway, it's David Traylor Jr. who picks up the checkered flag here in our regular season finale. Picking up the regular season win here for that 54 ride is Tristan Kyle going to come up, give him a shot in the back bumper there to congratulate him as Kyle does come home in second. Jackson Connell will come home in third, but it's all David Traylor Jr. here in this one. Won the pole, won the first stage. I'm pretty positive, probably pretty tight to leading the most laps in this race. And for the 54 ride, puts himself up and into victory lane here this evening, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance here for that QH Designs Johnny Johnson Motorsports number 54 of David Traylor Jr. Let's see some congratulations up in the chat right now for David Traylor Jr. before we pull him in for some post-race interviews. Post-race interviews going to come up next, man, as he's absolutely pumped here this evening, getting the dub. Man, what a drive. What a drive into that 54 as we'll get ready to pull him up here into the booth. Let's see if we can get him in here rather quickly. All right, so we do have David Traylor. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner. Hey, David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Hey, I got you, Aaron.
David, man, what a run, what a drive, what a performance here this evening, man. After winning the pole position, you do get out there with Jackson Connell for a few laps in stage number 1. You're able to pull away from him, though, and win that first stage. Down pit side, he beats you back out onto the racetrack. We're going to restart in second. Then we see that carnage, a little bit of damage there for you as contact on that ensuing restart. You go around, you end up into the outside fence. The 92 ride ends up into the front of you there, and obviously some good damage to the 54 ride. You go to the back of the pack, and there during that long green flag run, you just slowly but surely navigate your way back up inside the top 5, and then it looked like a really good pit stop here this evening. Puts you, out in front of Jackson Connell and so many of these other good drivers to give yourself that opportunity to have this late race lead and just to continue to try to pull away from everybody, and that's exactly what you did. Pulling away, putting this thing into cruise control, and pulling it up into victory lane here at Richmond Raceway, man. Take us back through it, and what's going through your mind, man, after a hell of a run?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it cruise control after all that, but yeah, I knew there in the first stage I felt pretty good on the long run. Me and the 39 were about even through the first probably 15 to 20 laps, and then just barely. I had just maybe half a tenth to maybe a tenth per lap, just a little bit better. So I knew the car would be good on the long run, but once we figured that out, I knew I just needed to keep the clean air, and like you said, he got me off pit road. He hit it perfectly, so good job to him on doing that. But started second, went in there into turn 1. I'm not really 100% sure what happened. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch it, but yeah, it got some damage, kind of killed the tires actually too. That's been kind of burned them up a little bit. And then and just had to basically lock in, for lack of a better term, for the next 100 laps. I knew I had the long run pace. I wasn't sure how the rest of the field was on the long run. I kind of was way too zoned in on the 39 there, but yeah, just put my head down. Just tried to make laps. I didn't worry what was around me. Just went in there and did my thing, and kind of made it work. I knew there through the middle portion of that run, I was gonna have to kind of short pit a little bit and jump some of those guys. So did that, and the 23 stayed out pretty long. And as soon as he came out, he was half a tenth to 7/10 faster. And I was like, wow, he's at this rate, he'll catch me with 10 to go. So, like I said, same thing. Just kept my head down, just locked in, made laps, clicked them away, and finally came out on top. They made me work for it tonight. But it was an awesome race.
Yeah, an awesome race, some great battles here, and some great strategy, obviously, with this long green flag run to finish this one off. And, yeah, Tristan Kyle obviously staying out there a lot longer than you guys did, obviously coming down pit road 22 laps after you made that final pit stop here this evening for the 54 ride. He makes his pit stop, comes out, quite a ways back there behind you, but, yeah, that speed difference was obviously there. The fresher tires, he was clicking them off in a quick hurry. Unfortunately, I think once he kind of started to catch up to a lot of those top 5 drivers, his tires started to fall off a little bit, in which turn made those passes that much tougher, and I think he just started to maybe burn his stuff up a little bit, kind of balance out with the other guys around him, and then obviously never really made his way up into second until that final lap there, and never really had a chance to try to hunt you down here, and just allowed you to kind of hold pace there late in this race over those last 15 laps or so with this 3-second gap.
Yeah, like I said, I was kind of watching on 39, but like I said, I felt pretty good about having him on the long run. When he came out, or when the 23 came out, I was like, okay, I need to not have any hiccups here. And I had one lap where I almost lost it off of 4. Trying to get a little bit extra. Luckily didn't crash. That would have been really embarrassing. But no, yeah, it's rare that I try like a short pit strategy ever, and it's really rare that like my pit strategy works. It just kind of worked tonight, so really good. I'm really glad I got the stage win and the race win. I needed all the playoff points I could get. Because I'll miss the first week. Or I guess that's next week rather. I'll miss one of these weeks. So I needed as many playoff points as I could get, and this will help me a little bit. It's not gonna make it easy. I'm still gonna be coming from behind in the points, but the goal is to get to the championship race. And I think this is the right momentum heading into the Thanksgiving break, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you got to look forward to the playoffs. Obviously, missing that one race with these extra bonus points, though, it kind of gives you at least a little bit of a cushion between yourself and probably that cut line, in which case may make things a little bit easier for you in those final 2 races of that first round. But I'm not sure, is it win in you're in through the rounds as well, like they do in the real NASCAR series, until that championship 5, or is it just solely on points?
I'm an admin. I probably should know, but I don't, to be honest. I think it is win and you're in, but I think to win and you're in, I think you have to be there for all 3 races. I don't think you can win and just not show up after that.
I get you.
So either way, I need as many points as I can get when I come back. Winning obviously is great, but I need maximum points.
Getting those
that's what we're gonna try to do.
Yeah, definitely going to be tricky, but definitely going to be a lot of fun to watch and see if you can try to, leapfrog maybe a few drivers to work yourself inside the top 10 to move on to the second round, and then really get your full experience there of that second round to try to work your way into that championship race at Homestead Miami Speedway there in the new year. But David, hell of a run, hell of a drive here tonight, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great performance here this evening?
Yeah, obviously first, thanks to the rest of the admin team, Joe, Colton, Clinton. We worked pretty hard to keep this league going. I know we're late in the season. I know that can be kind of a challenge for any league. We're doing our best to keep our numbers up here. I know it's getting towards the holidays, getting towards the playoffs. It makes it tough. We know we ask a lot of these guys to come out here every Friday night. We really appreciate the guys that do show up. So huge thank you to them for showing up. Um, Obviously, thanks to you for putting the broadcast on. I love going back and watching these. I got to go back and watch Monday night's broadcast, a lunch break this week. Um, Also got the win there, so this one will be fun to go back and watch as well. Thanks to the main sponsor on the car, QH Design. Colton, the guys at QH are great supporters of mine. I buy things from them, and they take care of me here, so I can't thank them enough. And the rest of the sponsors for the league, Admin Box, Johnny Johnson Motorsports. Um, I know I'm forgetting some here. The ones that make it go around, Blair at the winning bid, they're the ones that kind of give us the incentive to come out here. So I can't thank them enough. And then thanks to my dad watching at home and my wife for letting me do this.
Absolutely, brother. David, heck of a run, heck of a drive, man. Congratulations on the win here tonight in the Johnny Johnson 150 here from Richmond Raceway, man. Hopefully have yourself a wonderful weekend. Hopefully have yourself a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend as well. I'm Canadian, so our Thanksgiving is long gone. So the American Thanksgiving this weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend, safe travels and good food, good family, good friends. And we'll see you guys back out there in a couple Fridays from now for some more amazing racing.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there to David Traylor Jr. as he picks up the checkered flag here this evening and parks the 54 up and into victory lane out there on the speedway, man. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for that 54 machine. Unfortunately, though, the driver that comes home in second driver up here, and for Tristan Kyle, obviously had a good car, good speed, good run, had a good strategy, just didn't quite work his way through that traffic quick enough. And let's get him up here into the booth and see what he's got to say about his performance here this evening. Hey Tristan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Get on, Aaron.
Not too much, man. What a run. What a drive for you. Obviously, work your way up through the back of the pack here. Started back in 12th. You find yourself finishing here in second, though. But after leading some laps, playing some different strategy there, going until lap 110 before you come down pit road, virtually, 20, 22 laps after David Traylor Jr. and Jackson Connell came down pit side, and a lot of the rest of our top 5, top 10 came down pit road. Gave you a lot better tires, gave you some great speed here late in this race. Unfortunately, just seemed like, the gap that he had built up and trying to navigate your way through some of that traffic just ate so much time away that the laps just disappeared from you, and unfortunately never really gave you a shot to try to battle back towards the front here, try to steal that win away from David Traylor Jr. late in this race, man. Take us back through what's going to go through your mind.
Yeah, unfortunately those guys pitted, I think it was like 70, 75-ish or something like that. And I was on the assumption they were going to pit it in 2 stops instead of 1. So I was like, well, they jumped me, so I might as well go long and then pit it and see where we come out. And I didn't realize that those guys were doing it at 1 stop as well, so I kind of put myself behind there. And then I had some guys battle me for position. It's racing, it is what it is. They're racing first position. Yeah, I have fresher tires, but I get it. But that one, I think, got away from me. But, we'll move on. I haven't been in this booth for a while, so it's good to be back. Get some momentum here for the playoffs here.
Yeah, absolutely. And with playoffs being right around the corner, just looking at the point standings here throughout the race, you came in, I do believe, with a 17-point gap between yourself and Jackson Connell here for the regular season championship as well. And I do believe with a good second place run here this evening, I believe you got some stage points in there as well, that you should be good enough here to, lock in as our regular season champion. And I'm not sure if that comes with any extra bonus points or not, but it's got to feel good knowing that even though you went through a bit of a rough patch, that you've had some really good races, some really good stretches, that you're able to be that regular season champion still.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Feels good. Shot for a lot of stages this year, trying to gather up the points, and it worked out well for me. I had a little hiccup in qualifying there, which put me in the back, but gave me some good practice to work through traffic and things like that, and kind of see where we were at on tire sets there. And hard charger was the Golden Knight, so got that locked down, which is an extra $5 in the league, which is also good bonus there. So overall, I think we did a pretty good job. Unfortunately, just wasn't meant to be. Kind of overthunk it there, but I will say though, I think the top three in points finished 1, 2, 3 there. So
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a good night and good finish. Obviously, some extra little bit of coin in your pocket as well here as well with the $5 for the hard charger, man, goes a little bit of a long way. And as you said, a little bit of momentum here as well, getting back up into the booth, having another good run, another good performance. Unfortunately, though, you got to carry that momentum here for a couple weeks as we don't start our first round of the playoffs until after the Thanksgiving weekend as we're off next Friday. So do you think you can keep yourself hot, keep, jumping in here, running some races and keeping yourself kind of, on point towards our first race of the playoffs here in 2 weeks?
I sure hope so. Kentucky's not my best track, but we've piled a lot of points up throughout the regular season, so I should have a little bit of a buffer there in case I have a bad race. I've had a string of bad races since like my last one at Bristol, so it feels good to have a good clean race there and get a nice second place finish and move on and see what happens in the playoffs here.
Absolutely, man. There are going to be a lot of exciting racing, man. Obviously, a lot of stress, a lot of calculations, and trying not to make any mistakes there when it comes to pit stops or anything else, because one mistake, one slip up could, unfortunately, eliminate you from the championship contention. But with that bonus point differential here, I think, between you and the cut line probably gives you at least one race that you can kind of have a bad run, not a good finish, and still kind of be right there in front of them or right around them and still above that cut line. So at least, good regular season, good solid finishes, and another good one here tonight, man, puts you into a position that you go into the playoffs with the points lead. I do believe with the most bonus points as well, and gives you a good spot here going in to week one of round one. Tristan, heck of a run though here tonight, man. Heck of a performance for that 23 machine. Coming up just a little bit shy of the win, but man, hell of a run, hell of a drive there late in this race. Who would you like to thank for such a good run and good performance?
I'd like to thank my teammates. We all ran really good this regular season. All of us, myself, Jackson, Phil, Roberto, all did really good. I think we all got top 5 in points, I believe. After that, Roberto might have got 6. I'm not sure, but we all did a really good job piling up points, looking really strong going into the playoffs here. Um, but yeah, overall, I'm really proud of what we've done so far this year with these first, I think, like 10 races we've ran so far. So ready to move on, ready for the playoffs now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Playoffs just around the corner, man. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully, we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better, winning that first race and potentially punching your ticket into the second round of the playoffs as well. Tristan, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your off weekend there with the Thanksgiving weekend off, and we'll see you back out there in the next one.
Thank you, Aaron. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there to our second place finisher, Tristan Kyle. As Tristan comes home here in position number 2, we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the 39 of Jackson Connell. Hey, Jackson, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Howdy.
Jackson, man, another great run, another great performance for you here tonight. Obviously, qualified pretty decent early on. You're able to jump up into second. You battled there for a while with David Traylor Jr. and unfortunately just could not complete that pass. And it seemed like maybe David just had a little bit better of a car than you on that long run. It showed there during that first stage, and it showed here in that final run as well, as you were right there with him out of the pits. He was just in front of you, but slowly but surely started to pull farther and farther away from you there. And then late in this race, you had to battle with your teammate Tristan Kyle, who was eventually able to get you there on that final lap to steal position number 2 away from you, man. But take us back through it and what's going through your mind right now after 150 laps of amazing racing here at Richmond Raceway.
I mean, mixed feelings. I definitely think I had a shot to win, but I got damage on a pass before the first pit stop, and I was just trying to hold on, but I lost a lot of time. It would have been valuable when that pit stop eventually did come. Um, So, I mean, once the 54 got in front of me, I knew he was going to be really hard to pass. He was the fastest all night and absolutely deserved to finish where he did. But yeah, it just sucks. I don't like finishing outside of where I feel like I should finish. But for this being one of the worst tracks on the schedule for me, finishing on the podium, I'll take it. It definitely could have been worse, but could have been better.
Yeah, definitely could have been better here tonight, but you settle in for a third place run. Obviously, you get another podium. You gain a little bit more of that momentum heading into our playoffs here in a couple weeks' time as we're off next week for the Thanksgiving weekend. But, having that momentum, having another good finish here tonight, I do believe should lock you in a second place here in the regular season standings. And I do believe probably second or third most points here, bonus points going into that first round to give yourself a bit of a cushion between where you'll be and that cut line will be here in round number one, man. How do you feel going into these playoffs?
I'm excited to get back to the big tracks. Kentucky, Dega. I know we got Martinsville in there, but I can survive that. But then we go to Darlington and then Watkins Glen's a pass, but there's a few tracks sprinkled in the playoffs in this final run that I expect to win. Um, I don't want a podium. I think I'm more than capable of winning here, especially at these mile and a halfs. That's kind of been my strong suit all year. So um, we'll see how the playoffs go, but minimal mistakes is key here, and I should hopefully be the champ five at Homestead.
Yeah, absolutely. And another track that you'll be looking forward to. Obviously, another big track, a little bit more of that mile and a half, 2 mile kind of race track where you're going to be able to try to do what you do, where it's your bread and butter, where it may work into your favor here for that championship. But 6 races there before we head to Homestead. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens and if you can work yourself through these rounds and into that championship 5 battle. But here tonight, man, another solid podium, another solid top 3 run. Who would you like to thank for another great performance here tonight?
Team did a great job once again communicating. Just I'd like to thank the I guess the 54 after whoever spun him because that gave me some lap sled. So that's an extra bonus point. But otherwise, the team did a good job. We all finished well, or at least qualified well at the worst. So no, we didn't. Somebody qualified 12th. But just good communication is key here, and our team's fast. So I know we should hopefully all be there at Homestead, pending minimal mistakes. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, brother. Well, you look forward to seeing how it all plays out and see what happens here throughout our playoffs. Jackson, enjoy the rest of your weekend and enjoy, your weekend off here with the Thanksgiving weekend next Friday night. And we'll see you back here in 2 weeks' time and see if we get you right back up here into the broadcast booth, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening and congrats again on the third place run.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Jackson Connell. As Connell comes home in third, another great run, another great performance for that 39 ride. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. Unfortunately, though, racing action has concluded, and that will do it for us here this evening. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all in the next one, man. What a run. What a show, man, by the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League here in the Johnny Johnson Motorsports 150 from Richmond Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enjoy the rest of your night. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, and hopefully we'll see you guys back here tomorrow night when we go live again with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. But thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
ledger, turn full as a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Hit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust with